Yeah, let me know once my screen is visible. Hello, someone can reply.
Yes, it's visible here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Okay, so let's get started. So here in this session, mainly we are going to discuss what is an ERP, what are the ERP products which we have in the current market. Then we will go through the introduction of CPI. Okay, so below are the agenda. So first we will see what is an ERP. Then we will see what are the types of other ERP softwares which are available in the current market. Then we will go through the SAP. Then we will see why SAP is needed in the current market in the business implementation processes. Then we will check what is a CPI and what are the major advantages of CPI when compared to other middleware tools. Like we have a lot of other middleware tools in the current market, but mainly we will focus on SAP CPI, and then we will check what are the current trends which are going in CPI. Then what are the advantages of CPI comparing to the other middleware tools. Then we will go through the salary growth in this current module like SAP CPI. Then we will check the salaries based on the years of experience. Okay. So let's get started. Does anyone have any experience on any ERP product or any module in SAP CPI or else any module in SAP? Yep. Anyone? హలో ఐ మీన్ ఎవరికైనా ఈఆర్పి పైన ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉందా? ఈఆర్పి ఎనీ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ పైన ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉందా? లేదు అంటే ఎస్ఏపి ఎనీ మోడల్స్ పైన ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉందా ఎవరికైనా?
No,
నో. ఓకే. 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 నో
No.
ప్రాబ్లం.
no, sir.
హలో.
Excuse me.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So let's see what is an ERP. ERP it stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So before going into the description, let's understand ERP in a simple example. Okay. So let's take an example of an automobile industry. So let's take an example of an automobile industry. So let's take an manufacturing industry of car unit. So when any company which they want to manufacture any car or any automobile things, mainly the things what they require, like they require raw material. So they require raw materials. Then after they'll collect all these raw materials. Then they'll start a production. Manufacturing unit they'll start. Then after the manufacturing unit, then we'll get a marketing. Then at last we'll have sales. So first, I mean, whenever we take an example of any automobile industry or any other industry, first the thing is that they need a require raw material to start their production. So once they get all the raw materials before starting their production, then they will go to the production unit. Then after producing the particular automobile things, like let's say bike or an example a car, then they start marketing the product. Then after marketing, they'll get an sales. I mean that product will be sold to the customers. Okay. So to manage all these things, like in this particular process, there will be a lot of data collection is there. So we need to store the data in this particular process. Then after that, there is a lot of data transmission happening in between these processes. Okay. And apart from this, there is a lot of decision making happen in each processes. Okay, let's say, like, I mean, whenever we are going to this raw materials to the production, or production to the marketing, or marketing to sales, there will be a lot of decision making things which is happening in between. Okay, to manage all these things, and to process all these things in a neat way, then we need an ERP application. Okay, so to process all these things, we need a proper ERP software. So in a current market, there are a lot of ERP softwares. Like we have an Oracle, then we have an SAP, we have an Dynamic 365. So all these things comes under ERP application unit. So yep. And then one more thing is like, you want to have in all these things, like you want to have all these business processes or data collection, which you got the data collection from the business processes in a single tip of your screen. So then we need this ERP application. Like it shows all the data in a single screen, which is collected during all these processes. So that's why we need an ERP application to run our business in a smooth manner. Okay. Whereas coming to SAP, SAP is one of the ERP product. Like it is one of an ERP product. SAP came into existence in 1971. SAP had an headquarters in Germany. So there are a lot of, I mean, in SAP we have an almost some 50 plus of modules. Like SAP consists of both like function modules and technical modules. In functional modules, like let's say we have an things like SAP ST or SAP MM, and in technical modules we have in things like SAP CPI or SAP S4 HANA or ABAP and Fiori. So all these things combined, SAP have almost more than some 50 to 100 plus modules in it. Okay. So then main question, like we previously we discussed, like we have an almost like other ERP softwares, but why there is a requirement of SAP? Like why we need to go to SAP? Considering, I mean, keeping aside all other ERP softwares, why one should go to SAP? What is the main thing in SAP? So first thing is that, like SAP comes with continuous innovations. Like whenever and product is released by, whenever a module is released by SAP, it continuously update that particular module. Okay, and it continuously innovate the things. Then it makes an interface user friendly. Okay, these are first thing. The next thing is that, like, SAP has presence almost all over the world, and SAP is leading the ERP market. Okay. And one more thing is that, like SAP applications, SAP releases its applications in almost 40 plus of local languages, which is a major role when comparing to the other ERP softwares. Okay. Okay. Do you have any doubts still here? I mean, what is an ERP or what is an SAP? Hello. I mean, doubts na ippadi like in understanding of what is an ERP or what is an SAP.
Sir, explain again. I'm not clear what you saying. Your voice is not clear.
Okay. One second. Let me. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, it's clear, sir.
ఓకే. సో ఐ మీన్ ఇప్పటికి ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఈఆర్‌పీ ఆర్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఎస్ఏపీ అని ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
Yes, sir. Sir,
ఓకే.
ERP ఒకసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా?
ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈఆర్‌పీ అంటే, లైక్ లెట్స్ టేక్ ఎన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ. వాట్ ప్రీవియస్‌లీ ఐ డిస్కస్డ్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు వాళ్ళు. లైక్ ఎనీ కంపెనీ ఒక ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. సో స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు మెయిన్‌గా దానికి ఇండస్ట్రీ స్టార్ట్ చేయడానికి ఫస్ట్ ఒక ప్రొడక్షన్ స్టార్ట్ చేయడానికి దానికి ఫస్ట్ ఏం కావాలి? రా మెటీరియల్స్ కావాలి మనకి ఫస్ట్. ఓకే. దెన్ ఆ రా మెటీరియల్స్ మొత్తం కలెక్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ప్రొడక్షన్ యూనిట్‌కి వెళ్తారు. సో వన్స్ ప్రొడక్షన్ కార్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ అంతా రెడీ అయిన తర్వాత దెన్ అప్పుడు వాళ్ళు దాన్ని మార్కెటింగ్ చేస్తారు. ఆ పర్టికులర్ ప్రొడక్ట్ని దే విల్ మార్కెట్ ఇట్. ఓకే. So then, at last, then the company will receive an orders from the customers. Then they will start selling that particular unit which they manufactured. Okay, and this is it not restricted to only single product or a few products. This business it almost runs over in an crores. Okay, so in this particular process, there will be a lot of data transmission which is required and data collection which is required. అండ్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిసిషన్ మేకింగ్స్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్రాసెస్ నుంచి ఇంకొక ప్రాసెస్కి మూవ్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిసిషన్ మేకింగ్స్ విల్ బి హ్యాపెనింగ్ విత్ ఇన్ ద ప్రొడక్ట్ విత్ ఇన్ ద ప్రాసెసెస్. ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ మొత్తంని కూడా జస్ట్ ఒక సింగిల్ స్క్రీన్లో నాకు కావాలి, లైక్ సింగిల్ స్క్రీన్లో చూడాలి ఎలా ఉంది ఫ్లో అనేది, లేదు అంటే ఫ్లో అంతా ప్రాపర్గా అవ్వాలి, ఈ మొత్తం బిజినెస్ యూనిట్ మొత్తం ప్రాసెస్ ఫ్లో అంతా స్మూత్గా అవ్వాలి వితౌట్ ఎనీ ఎర్రర్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీ గ్యాప్స్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్. సో దెన్ అందుకే ఈఆర్పి టూల్ వాడతారు మార్కెట్లో. ఓకే.
Okay, so it's clear.
సో ఎస్ఏపి అనేది కూడా జస్ట్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఈఆర్పి ప్రొడక్ట్. ఓకే. సో వాళ్ళు ఈ బిజినెస్ ప్రాసెస్ మొత్తం స్మూత్గా రన్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఎస్ఏపి అనే ప్రొడక్ట్ని వాడతారు. ఓకే. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ఐ మీన్ కమింగ్ బ్యాక్ టు అవర్ మెయిన్ టాపిక్, లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఎస్ఏపి సిపిఐ. ఓకే. సో in today's our main topic will be, I mean mainly we are focusing on the module in SAP, that is SAP CPI. Okay. CPI it stands for Cloud Platform Integration. Okay. So before going into the main topic, let's see a small example like what is CPI and why we need that CPI. Okay. So let's take an example like there is a person A and there is a person B. So now A person has some data with him. Okay. And he want to transmit that data or else he want to share that data with person B. So what are the means of transports? I mean, what are the methods which A can share the data to person B? Hello, any answer? లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక పర్సన్ ఏ పర్సన్ ఉన్నాడు, సో తన దగ్గర సమ్ డేటా ఉంది, సో అది ఏ పర్సన్ తను బి పర్సన్కి డేటా షేర్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాడు. సో హౌ వీ కెన్ షేర్ ద డేటా టు బి? ఎనీ ఆన్సర్? Okay. Okay, no issues. So I mean, let's say a person has a mobile phone. So with that mobile phone, he can transmit the data to B person. Let's take in here the middleware will be mobile, and a person has some data with him. So directly through mobile, he'll share that data or else he'll transmit the data to B person. Okay. And here the middleware which is used by A to transmit the data to B is a mobile. Not only mobile, I mean, he can use some any other social media platforms or any other things to transmit some data to B. So that platform which is used by A to transmit some data to B, that becomes a middleware. Okay. So exactly the CPI comes here. So let's take an example. We have some system. System name is A. And at the end, the data which is receiving, that we call it as B. So now we want to transmit some data from A system to B system. So let's take A will be our source system and B will be our target system. Okay. And now we want to transmit some data from A system to B system. Okay. So for transmitting some data from A to B system, we use CPI as a middleware. So we use SAP CPI as a middleware to transmit data from A to B. Okay. So got it? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఇప్పుడు? Hello, any doubts still here? Like what is CPI?
Yeah. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So we got a basic understanding like what is CPI. So CPI, it is a mainly middleware tool where it is used to buy where it is used in a business processes. Like whenever we want to transmit data from system A to system B, then we'll be using an middleware tool that is CPI. So CPI, like okay, we are using CPI, but what are its advantages when compared to other ERP tools? I mean other middleware tools. Like in market, like we have a lot of middleware tools called as like Oracle Cloud Integration, then Salesforce, then TIPCO and IBM integration. So we have lot of integration tools in market which is currently available. But why specifically we need to go to SAP CPI for integrating two systems? So mainly the major advantages when coming to SAP CPI is that like CPI supports hybrid integration. So what is CPI supports a hybrid integration? So what is hybrid integration? So let's say CPI, it is hosted on cloud. So whenever you want to transmit some data from cloud to on-prem system, or else you want to transmit some data to on-prem to cloud, or cloud to cloud, or on-prem to cloud. So in this all cases, we can use CPS and middleware in the transmission of data. Okay, and then one more thing is that like we can securely transmit the data to between any systems, like whether it is hosted on cloud or on-prem, or else it is hosted. I mean, when both source and target system they are hosted on cloud to cloud, or else when the both systems are hosted on on-prem to on-prem. In this all cases, we can use CPI and we can securely transmit the data from one system to the other system. Okay, and one more thing is that like as I said mentioned earlier, SAP it releases continuous updates on any module. So it makes developer and user friendly interface so that he can mostly automate his processes without any manual interruptions. Okay, so now let us see what are all the tools which we can integrate in CPA. So SAP itself it has a lot of other tools like SAP S4 HANA or else SAP SuccessFactors or Fieldglass and Ariba. These all it comes under SAP ecosystem. So we can indirectly integrate any two systems which is belongs to SAP ecosystem, or else we can integrate any systems which is managed by SAP. Like here, if you see, these are the systems which are managed by SAP. So we can integrate these SAP managed systems also. Okay, and not only this, we can integrate any third-party systems like we can integrate Azure, AWS, or Kafka, or Google, or else Salesforce and ServiceNow. We can integrate any third-party apps to SAP, or else we can integrate any third-party tools to SAP, or else SAP to any third-party tools. And apart from this, we can also integrate any B2G scenarios, like whenever we are transmitting the data from any business perspective to the government sector. So in that case also mainly we'll be using CPI here. And not only this, like whenever we have an uh, integration of like business to business transformation scenarios. So in that case also we can use CPI. And apart from this, currently the trend which is going on in SAP integration is that is advanced event mesh. Like whenever you have an event triggered at your source end, and you want to transmit the data to the target end. So then we'll be using advanced event mesh or event mesh based integrations. Okay. Okay. I mean doubts now or else clear. Hello. So I'm taking the test now, and let's move forward. Okay. So we understood like what is SAP, then how we are integrating our two systems by using SAP CPI. Then we also understood like what is an I mean what are the advantages when compared to other middleware tools. Com- uh, okay. Now major benefits of SAP CPI is we can I mean there will be faster implementations. Okay. Mostly SAP CPI has most of the things. I mean it contains most of the inbuilt packages. Okay. There are a lot of pre-built packages. By using these packages only, I mean you can just we can just normally configure the adapters, and you can push the data from one system to the other system. So here the manual intervention is not needed. Like you will just download the package from the pre-built content, then you will integrate two systems. And one more thing is that like monitoring is most important. Like whenever you have an interface failed at some system at some occurrence or the other occurrence, then you want to monitor those systems, and you want to track it and where it got failed. So for that also it will be helpful in real time monitoring. And then where compare then one more thing is that like whenever there's a data transmission which is going on between two systems, then here security plays a major role. So whenever you want to transmitting any data from system A to system B, you want to transmit the data in a secure way. Okay, so that it the data does not expose to the public domain. So SAP comes with a lot of security mechanisms, like we can use encryption or decryption mechanism. Then we can use encode or decode formats. Then during authentication also, like SAP provides lot of authentication mechanism. Like it provides basic authentication mechanism, then it provides OAuth authentication mechanism. Then when you are using any success factor integration, or else whenever you are using any open connectors integration, so then it has a separate set of credentials which is used in that particular integrations. Okay, and one more thing is that like SAP CPI, it can fit any types of business process. So let's say like whenever we have an business process which is a small scale business process, SAP can fit to that small scale business process, and it can also fit to a large scale business process. So here you'll be subscribing to the basic package. Then as you go on, as your business expands, then you'll be subscribing to the higher environment and higher packages. Yep. Any doubts in this? Mm. So let's see. Now let's see the salary growth and career growth in SAP CPI. So mainly as an fresher or an fresher consultant, you'll be starting your role as an analyst or an associate consultant in SAP CPI module. Then here on, like after on, with the increase of your years of experience, you'll be moving into a consultant role. Then you'll be coming to a senior consultant role. Then you'll be going into an architect level. I mean solution architect level in SAP CPI. Okay, and apart from this, like whenever you have a certification on this module, like SAP, whenever you provide an certification on SAP CPA, then always it will be an advantage to your career growth and your salary growth. Okay. And then one more thing is that like every year there is an 20% increase in SAP integration people. Like every year, let's say like in this current year, there are some 100 people who can work on SAP CPM. Then in next year, the increase rise to 120 people, because there is a growth of almost 20%. Every year there is a growth of 20% in this respective SAP CPM module. Okay. So now let's discuss the basic salary for an SAP CPI consultant. So whenever you are starting your career as a fresher, so then your salary it might start from 5 to 10 LPA. Then with an 3 to 5 or 6 years of experience, you can get anywhere between 10 to 25 LPA. Then whenever you have some 6 plus years of experience, then anywhere you can land up to 25 plus LPA package. Okay, and then most of the top 10 gainers or top 1% gainers, they almost earn more than 40 LPA in this module. Then we are coming to the summary of the session. So now in this session, like we have understood like what is an ERP and what is an SAP CPI, then why SAP CPI and how SAP CPI is which is used to integrate between two systems. Then we understood the professional growth and salary growth in this current module. Okay, so now let's go to a basic demo, understanding like how we integrate systems. So this is how your SAP BTP cockpit look like. Okay, so here you need to subscribe to this particular SAP CPI integration suite. It will be displayed under this incident subscription. Okay, so you need to subscribe to this particular SAP integration suite. So once you subscribe to this SAP integration suite, you'll be having your UI in this way. So this is an SAP integration suite homepage. Okay, and we have a lot of options here. So we'll try to explore one by one in a simple way. Okay, so here we have a discover. So this discover, it mainly consists of inbuilt and pre-built packages within CPI module. So whenever I click on this integration, so let me array. So here discover. So as I said earlier, like this discover, it contains a pre-built packages. So by using these pre-built packages, like directly you can download the particular iFlow which you needed, and then you can just configure that, and you can start working on that particular iFlow. Okay. And then here in this particular in this particular discover, it contains all the flows. Like I mean, we discussed earlier, we discussed we CPI can also accommodate B2G integrations. So whenever currently in India, GST is a GST which is used, I mean, which is widely used. So any taxation system, we have a GST in place. Whether it is CGST or SGST, in taxation system mainly it goes via GST. So whenever I So if you see here, we have a lot of pre-built packages which provides us and this integration between business to government or government to business. For those all package, I mean for those all requirements, you can directly use these pre-built packages. Like here you can see we have an integration with India e-way bill, and then India e-voices, then e-sign application providers. So we have all these integrations. So all these integrations, like we can download just we can download this package, and we can download the iFlow. Then we can use these flows in our integration scenarios. Directly you'll be configuring the receiver and sender adapter. Then you can go to use this iFlow. Then suppose according to your requirement, like if you want to build a custom iFlow, or else if you want to develop a custom iFlow, then you will be going into this design tab. In this design tab, let's go into this design tab. So here you'll be creating you'll be creating a package to that to your requirement. Like let's say suppose you have a requirement to integrate a particular set of systems. So then you'll be giving the name here, then technical name, short description. Then you'll create this package. So once you create the package, okay, let me create a package. So this will be our, we need to provide a name. Then that name will be auto-populated in this technical name. Then here you will be giving the short description. Okay. Then after that we have a description here. So this description, it briefly tells tells us about this particular package. Okay. So just I'm maintaining demo package here. So once we fill this information, we'll be saving this package. So this package will be created on your flow. So go back. So we have a package here. So this package is created here. And to develop your custom iFlows or else custom APIs or else any scripts or any Groovy scripts which you are maintaining in this particular package, then mappings, then other APIs which you are integrating. So you need to maintain all these things under artifacts. So in these artifacts, so you need to add your particular integration flow, or else when you are working on any value mappings, you'll add that respective value mapping in this particular package. Then suppose if you are working on any mappings or else any scripts, then you'll be adding that all scripts and mappings and integration flows under these artifacts. Okay. So now let's add an integration flow here. So that particular flow, when we click on create, the flow which we created, it will be get created under these artifacts. Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is how your interface look like. So here we have a lot of inbuilt options in SAP. So here you'll be adding your receiver and sender. So sender is, I mean, we will configure the sender, like suppose if you want to receive some data from some systems, so that you'll be configuring it under sender. Okay. The sender will send the message to this CPI, or else it will pushes the message to CPI. So once you do the required transformations, mappings and all, then you will be sending the data to the receiver system. Okay, you'll be connecting it through via, we have different adapters in CPI. So you'll be connecting to that receiver system by using different adapters. Like you can connect it through advanced event mesh, or else there is an SFTP adapter where you want to transfer any files. And we also have an FTP protocol. So by using these adapters based on your requirement, you'll be configuring that respective adapter. Then you will send the data from CPI to that respective system by using these adapters. Okay. And similarly for the sender also, we have a lot of inbuilt adapters here. So you can use advanced event mesh or else HTTP. Then for IDOC scenarios, you can use IDOC adapter. So all these adapters, like we'll be going into detail in our upcoming sessions. So you need to configure the adapter based on your requirement. Like based on your requirement, you'll be configuring the respective adapter. Then you get the data to the SAP. Then you'll do the required transformations, or else require mapping in your system. Then you'll be sending the data to the receiver systems. Okay. And here we have a lot of, we have almost all the palettes here. Like you can see my screen. So here we have an event exception subprocess, or else integration and local subprocesses. Then we will do the mapping by using this ID mapping or else XSLT, then message mapping. So by using this, we will transmit the data. Like we'll get data in one format, or else we'll get data in one method. Then you want to transfer that data into a different format while sending the data to the receiver systems. So we will use message mappings, or else we'll use Groovy scripts to transform the data to the required. Then we will push that message to the receiver systems. Okay. Yep. Any doubt till here? హలో ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి లైక్ ఇప్పటివరకు ఏమైనా? హలో ఎనీవన్ ఐ మీన్ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా లైక్ టిల్ హియర్? Okay, then let's continue to a small demo.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Can you just explain what was this entire process and how much the course timing and placement, regarding placement and each and everything?
Yeah, I mean అది ప్రీవియస్ డిస్కషన్ చేసాను.
Okay.
సో లెట్స్ సే లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఐ మీన్ కరెంట్గా ఫ్రెషర్ ఒకవేళ మీరు ఫ్రెషర్గా జాయిన్ అయ్యారు అనుకోండి, లైక్ ఎస్ఏపి సిపిఐ మాడ్యూల్లో ఎవరైనా ఫ్రెషర్లా జాయిన్ అయ్యారు అనుకోండి. సో కరెంట్ మార్కెట్ ప్రకారం వాళ్ళకి ఎనీవేర్ బిట్వీన్ 5 to 10 LP వరకు సాలరీ రేంజ్ అనేది ఉంటుంది.
Okay.
Okay. So once you go higher, like at least if you have some basic of 2 to 3 years of experience, then your will package will be anywhere you'll get between 10 to 25. Okay. So
Okay.
once you have an good or minimum 8 years of experience, like let's say like 6 or 8 years of experience, then anywhere you'll be getting 25 plus.
Okay. And what was the time period for the entire training and placement?
Like hardly it will be 1 or 2 months.
Okay. Thank you.
Think you're clear, right?
Yeah.
Hello. Still any doubts?
No, no.
Okay. So let's go to a basic demo. Like ఒక చిన్న basic demo చూపిస్తాను. Yeah. So currently we are using a timer here. So we'll be pushing some message to this timer to this end processes. Okay. So this is a message which we configured in content modifier. So okay, I mean we'll get into this palettes and all in our next sessions. So here we have hard-coded some message. So this message you want to transmit it from timer to that end flow. Okay. So now if you see here, like we have different options in this timer. So you can schedule on deployment, or else you can also schedule to a I mean based on your requirements. Like you can schedule it every 5 minutes, or else every 10 minutes, or else based on the particular time period. Like on that particular on else if you want to run the interface only on that particular day or particular time, you can schedule the interface at accordingly. And also you can schedule the interface based upon your time zones. So currently we are working on IST. So you want to run the interface in GMT time zones or EST time zones, then you will be selecting your time zones here. So as of now, just we are going with a basic approach. We want to we want to run the interface based on our deployment. Okay. And we have hard coded some message here. So once we deploy this interface, so here we have a monitoring section. So in this respective monitoring section, like we will be monitoring all our iFlows or else all our APIs which got deployed. So currently we deployed this demo interface. So we'll monitor it, whether it got deployed successfully or not. So here we have a tile called manage integration content. So in this respective manage integration content, it will show you all the iFlows which are deployed and their status. So currently we deployed this iFlow, and here we can see the status has started. So whenever it is reflecting the status has started, then we don't have any error in that respective iFlow, and it got deployed smoothly. Okay. So now we navigate to this monitoring message processing. So when you navigate to this monitoring message processing, so this particular tile, it will tell us about the status of that status of the interface, like whether it got completed, executed successfully, or else if there are any failure occurs. So it will display all those failures here. Okay. So this particular message, it got executed successfully. So now it is showing the status is completed. Okay. So now I'm stopping the recording now.